106.7 Lights FM.
106.7 Light FM. My name is Cubby. That's Christine. And I don't know where to begin, but we're surrounded by talent, Christine.
I know, we're
Nagy.
so excited to have you both here.
We have the legendary Grammy Award winner, Mr. Huey Lewis himself here, and Zoe Jensen, right? That's your last name?
Zoe Jensen.
I almost said Zoe Page because of the character you play, but we're going to talk about you in just a second. But we got to talk about the heart of rock and roll, and how did you two come together, Huey and Zoe?
Well, Zoe is hugely talented, and when we were casting our show, she was an instant choice. And she plays Paige in our show, and she's marvelous.
Congratulations.
She does everything, and she can sing as good as she wants.
Thank you.
Well, this musical is said to be, but we haven't gotten there yet. We need to go. Just a whole lot of fun. Like, everybody comes out of this show happy and raving about it, and of course, loving the music. So I'm imagining it's bringing you a lot of love and joy to be part of the production.
Oh yeah, I mean it's been amazingly gratifying. People love the show, and it's great. You know, we're just bathing in it, right? Zoe?
That's right. And I have to say, too, the audience enjoys it, but the cast also really enjoys doing it as well. It's one of those lucky moments where you really get to love what you do. The cast is just having a blast backstage. I'm even thinking, not to give it away, but there's a nice little aerobics number that the second act starts with.
Nice.
And at intermission, we're all just mingling, getting ready, and just like having fun.
Wait, I have to be in good shape to go to this show?
No, don't worry. Don't
Okay.
worry. All you need
Thank
to
God.
do is to be ready to have a good time.
Have a good time, all right.
Because it's set in 1987.
That's right.
And your music is the framework of the show, but it's not a story about your life or something.
No,
like
it's
that.
not.
Yeah.
It's an original story, but there are parallels in that our lead character Bobby is 28, 29 years old. This is kind of his last shot. I was 28, 29 when I started the band, and so on. So, and I had a day job as well. So there are some parallels. And the show's smart and funny, but it's also got a lot of heart in it. It's about choices that we make, and choices, life choices, and so on. So it's substantive as well, and I like to point that out.
Yeah.
What was your day job? I have to ask.
I had a natural foods distribution company. I sold, Nancy's yogurt, which is made in Eugene, Oregon by Ken Kesey's and Chuck Kesey, the Kesey's Springfield Creamery, and I imported that yogurt. I would drive up there and get all that yogurt, drive down to San Francisco and distribute it to natural food stores.
This is way before Huey Lewis in the News.
Yeah, way before Huey Lewis. I was in another band called Clover,
Right.
and I was forming this band. So in the daytime, I would get up at like 5 in the morning, put all the yogurt orders together, go distribute them, and then take a nap, and then go play shows at night.
Oh, wow.
Now, Zoe, did you know much about Huey Lewis and his career and all his hits?
She wasn't even born
I
yet.
know, that's what I'm saying. You weren't born yet, but
You
did you catch up on all of his catalog?
No, I was not born yet. But I think that anyone that has spent any time looking at the 80s knows who Huey Lewis is.
Correct.
I mean, sure, if you've seen Back to the Future, but just his voice on a track, it's like, oh, that's such an iconic 80s sound. So I was familiar with some Huey Lewis songs before I started the show, but doing this show has been so fun because it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that song was a Huey Lewis song, and that song. It's just been such a reminder of how much of an impact he had in that decade.
I do have a question about Back to the Future. Power of Love, you really didn't want to write a song for Back to the Future, did you? But they kind of said, you can do it. You can write it, but you didn't want to do a tune called Back to the Future.
Right.
So Power of Love makes no mention of Back to the Future, but did you do it for the movie, or was it like a track you just had laying around?
Yeah, I mean, Steven Spielberg, Bob Zemeckis, and Bob Gale, and Neil Catton also, who helped write, asked to take a meeting with us, and they said, look, we just wrote this film, and the lead character, Marty McFly, his favorite band would be Huey Lewis and the News, so we wonder if you'd like to write a song for the film. And I said, well, flattered, don't know how to write for film necessarily.
Right.
And I don't fancy writing a song called Back to the Future, but, and they said, oh, that's okay, we just want one of your songs. So I said, well, I'll send you the next thing we're working on, which was Power of Love. I hadn't seen the script or anything, and I sent it to them, and they loved it. And I didn't think it was going to work. There was no love there's no love object in the film necessarily.
Right.
But the song works wonderfully, and it was a lesson, actually, I think, for all of us and for our musical, which is that music sometimes is more powerful in a show when it only applies tangentially. So it's another leg you can stand on. So it's not too literal. So it has this other life as well, and that's been the case with our musical. You know, it's important to point out, I think.
Wow, interesting. Yeah.
A lot of interest around the Netflix, the documentary, The Greatest Night in Pop, right? And I think people are just blown away by the fact that you were in awe of the people you were working with. We're all in awe of you.
Well, no, I mean,
You came across great, man.
Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, Stevie Wonder,
Michael Jackson.
Lionel Richie, Michael Jackson. How can you help but be in a? You don't meet those people in a lifetime,
Right.
Let alone work with them one evening all night. So, and there's a special bond amongst us all that those memories are fresh as you might imagine. It was 39 years ago, but the memories are amazingly fresh.
Did you enjoy the documentary?
Such an incredible evening.
Did you enjoy watching that? Yeah.
For the most part, I can't hear it that well.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, can we talk about how you're living with the hearing issue and what you're using actually right now for us?
Yeah, well, I have Starkey Hearing Institute has given me a table mic, which Bluetooths to my hearing aids, and then I'm able to hear that way. And I can hear one-on-one sometimes, and but it's probably deteriorating. I'm probably looking at a cochlear implant, which is not a cheery thing. But hey, let's talk about the musical.
Yes. The musical was how many years in the making? I understand you started working on this maybe 10 years ago?
Exactly. But we put it up in San Diego for 6 weeks, and it was great. We got standing ovations and sold it out and everything. And then COVID.
Yeah.
And COVID actually helped us because we spent all that time distilling and rewriting, and the show's a lot better for it, I think.
Yeah. And Zoe, you're no stranger to Broadway. You just finished 6, right?
Yes.
And other people have seen you other things too as well.
Yes, I before 6, I was in the national tour of Hamilton as Eliza, and I was in the Broadway company of Dear Evan Hansen before that.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
But I must say, Zoe has originated this role with
That's
Paige.
right.
Okay, and in that sense, she's absolutely made it her own. As writers, and we can write music, and we can write words, and we can program dance steps. But in the end, these talented people have to breathe life into these ideas, and Zoe has done that in spades.
Thank you, Huey. Yeah, no, it's been a great honor this time, because I have replaced in these bigger shows before. So this time around, I really got to just test my abilities and see what it would be like to create a character from scratch, and it has just been so much fun.
Tell us about your character. Are you the main love interest?
No, I'm not. So I play Paige, and I am the main love interest's best friend, who's been best friends with her since college, who wants the best for her. She's a little over-involved at times, and she's very eccentric, and she's very silly. But the thing she cares about the most is that her best friend Cassandra is happy. And I think we all have people like that in our lives.
We certainly do, yeah.
Absolutely.
And did you embrace the 80s, the fashion, everything that
I
goes
did.
with it?
I mean, you've got to come see the show because just for my wig alone, you have to come. Because I'm so excited. I get this big crimped hair. My mom saw it. She was like, that's how I wanted my hair to look in the 80s. And the fashion is the costumes are amazing in this show. I think that our show has done a great job of showing an accurate rendition of the 80s without it being too out there. I think sometimes in modern day when we talk about the 80s, we make it a little flashier than it actually was in that time. But this has a little bit more honesty in the way our hair and our costumes look.
Huey, when you think 80s, what fashion do you think? What did you wear a lot? Do you have a members only jacket
I
still?
wore Varney sunglasses all the time.
Okay.
I remember that.
Yeah,
And then
you had a mullet. I remember the mullet days. You had a mullet.
I had a slight mullet.
Okay.
What business in front, party in the back.
That was
right?
you.
Yeah,
For a
kind
brief
of.
time. Yeah.
Guilty as charged. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. we started as a band when there was no MTV, so
Yeah.
it was an audio thing in my band, and then MTV came along, and you had to make videos, which was sort of a necessary evil. But we embraced that and decided, hey, let's do that ourselves. We were writing our own songs and producing our own records, so we thought, let's do the videos ourselves. And we tried to take a different approach to zig when the song zags. So just make fun of ourselves, be self-effacing, just film it in San Francisco and let the seagulls chew the scenery.
Yep, there you go. There you go. Any other questions, Christine, before we wrap up?
I was going to say that's what we're hearing about the show too. That it's so much fun in the fact that you're not taking yourselves too seriously in the best way.
Yes, I was reading an article a couple weeks ago. I wish I could reference it, but it mentioned that our show is a constant wink to the audience, and I could not agree more. I mean, you listen to Huey's music, and it's very silly and lighthearted, and I think that our show really follows in that tone. I mean, it's set in a cardboard box factory. I mean, the whole time we are just winking at you at kind of the absurdity of it all. But the cool thing is that among this silliness are really honest messages, and a lot of heart.
But it's okay to have a sense of humor, right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Right, yeah.
Just
We
check
need
it.
it desperately.
And actually, it's important. Yeah, it's
It
important
is.
I mean, we even look at so many of these brilliant shows this season that are a little heavier than ours. You need moments of levity, and I'm very happy to be a part of that moment of levity.
So you're walking out of Heart of Rock and Roll happy.
Oh, yeah. Every single
Yeah.
day. How can you not? Confetti comes out at the end.
There you go.
So,
Yeah,
Rip Taylor comes out. Is he still alive, Rip Taylor? I think he passed. But remember Rip Taylor?
who?
Rip Taylor.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
No, the audiences have been amazing at our
yeah.
show. They love it. They just love it. It's great. It's
I can imagine.
wonderful to see.
Yeah.
Well, Heart of Rock and Roll at the James Earl Jones Theater, playing now. Huey Lewis, Zoe Jensen, an honor, and I'm so flattered to be with you guys right now.
Yeah,
and
thank
good luck
you.
with everything.
Thanks,
you.
Cubby.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christine.
106.7 Lights FM.